It's me again. It's Evan here with your signs of whether you're a twin flame or not. Okay, so my last video would have been video number 5, and that would have been about cleaning up your. And this is going to be video number 6, which I have pinned the click. Well, that's a snap. Wish I had 2 Legos, because that's more apropos for the sound that I remember experiencing with her. She said she had the same thing. The funny thing is that, man, I can't say this without divulging information that's to me private. It's nothing sexual or anything like that. For this video, I will divulge this part. She had a jar that I found in her room that her son gave me. Oh, I'm sorry. If I didn't introduce myself, yes I did. If I didn't say, yes I did. I said this was the signs about the twin flame journey. Okay, never mind. Totally forgot I did that. Anyway, she had this jar in her room, and it said happiness on it. It was like she made the jar. It was a coffee can, basically, that she decorated, and on the outside it said happiness. And I was like, okay. Well, her son gave it to me. I was helping him clean up her things, and we were in her bedroom, and he was like, hey, there's some things I've already gathered I thought you might want. And I was like, oh, cool, thank you. And he was like, here's this. And I was like, what is this? And he goes, you don't know? And I was like, no, should I know? And he goes, well, I thought she would have told you. And I was like, tell me what? And he was like, oh, I guess she didn't tell you. And I was like, tell me what? What is what is this with this comedic thing about it? And then he was like, these are things that he was like, no. He said, I don't know exactly what is in the jar. I just know that she wrote some stuff down, and she was debating. She had a discussion with me. This is what her son was telling me. He was like, she had a discussion with me. She was internally debating whether to let you see what was in the contents of this coffee can thing. And he was like, apparently she didn't. He was like, so I'll give you a moment and leave the room, and you can see whatever's in there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I opened this jar, and on these colored, I guess index cards or something, I don't know, they were these like little bitty different colored cards. They weren't like index cards, they didn't have lines on them. So I don't know exactly where she got them from. But she wrote down moments of, I guess, things she remembered or the experience of being with me. It's so weird to say that to you, because you guys, it's weird to say that out loud, even about myself. But apparently she wrote down her feelings about the experiences she had with me and the things that when we were doing things together. And on one of the cards, she wrote down, I guess, her feelings and I don't know, impressions of when we physically went on our first date together, like when we physically met for the first time and had, I guess, a date or whatever. She wrote down things. They were kind of like bullet points because they had like a little dot next to it, and then she would write whatever. So one of the things that she wrote, which we never really actually talked about it per se to each other. It's weird. We never really talked about being twin flames that much to each other. She was more serious about it than I was. She would send me meditations to do and other things to help clean up my energy, like all the things that you're supposed to work towards to have a peaceful and awesome union and stuff. And I was the procrastinator. I guess I would have been called the runner. I don't believe that there's a runner or a chaser, because you don't run away from the person. You run away from you wanting to do the work. And I procrastinated. I didn't run away. I just took my sweet ass time in actually doing it. I was just like, okay, I'll do it. And she'd be mentioning it, and I would do it. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent. The click. Okay, she wrote down that word on one of those cards. She wrote down click. And then we never actually talked about us hearing an audible click. I heard and felt something that I guess could have been described as a click, when I first saw her walk into the place that she met me at when we went on our date. I don't know if she had the same experience because, like I said, we never really actually talked about that part. But she must have had something similar. Why she wouldn't have written down the word click. Um, and I did describe it in a past video, I think on my Instagram channel a long time ago, like a year after she passed. Maybe I don't know how long time it expired between her passing and when I made this video, but I remember talking about how when you meet your twin flame, and obviously, and I mentioned this in a previous video about having the multiple lifetime thing, you just have this knowing that you've been around this person before, and like I never met her that I'm aware of. The weird thing is we did cross paths. We had people that we knew that knew each other, but we never actually physically met until we went on that very first date. But I know that she knew some people that I knew. I know she did because she hung out at some of the places I would go to hang out with these people when I would hang out with them. It wasn't very often that I would hang out with these people, but I would go to places that I knew my friends were hanging out, and I would go and have a drink maybe because I don't drink very much. That's not my thing. So I might go to a bar to visit a friend that was a bartender and get a free drink or two, or maybe somebody worked the door at a club, and I used to DJ and stuff, and I still DJ at home and stuff. So maybe I would go visit my friend that worked the door at a club, and she would give me in to see a show for free or some crap like that. But I didn't frequent these places very often, and I don't think she did either because she was a single mom. But when she did go out and decide to have a good time, I guess, funny because she went to some of the same places I would hang out at. But we never actually physically met or spoke to each other until we met each other on that dating site we met on and then went out on a date. But I know she knew some of the same people because when I showed her pic, I was even like, I know you went to this place. Yep, I knew of that place. I go, hey, I knew this person. Do you know that person? She looked at the photo and she was like, nope. And I was like, yeah, you know them. You just don't fucking like them. It was all right. Anyways, yeah, so like, you just kind of get each other. I don't know any other way to describe the click part other than you just really understand that person and their perspective from this inner knowing. It was, I think I went on a tangent about us like crossing paths and stuff, but never actually meeting. Let me go back and say this. When I made that video, I described it as if, have you ever had somebody in your life that's a friend? And that friend, maybe you met that person and you guys were really super tight. You hung out, not all the time, but you hung out a lot. You did a lot of things. The other you would go to do and go, hey man, you should go to this thing. I mean, whatever. And then maybe they moved away. Maybe they moved to another city. Maybe they got married. Maybe they got married and have kids. And I'm single, so maybe your priorities are different and you don't get to hang out that much. But I have, maybe they moved to another state. Maybe moved to another country. And then when you do talk to them, it's not like, man, what the hell have you been doing? I haven't talked to you in 6 months or whatever. There's none of that, oh my God, so much time has passed. You just pick right up where you left off. You don't complain. You don't be a miser about, or a jerk, or a poohead about, I haven't talked to you in so long. Why haven't you called me? Blah, blah, blah. You just literally go, hey dude, hey chick, whatever gender they are, identify as. You're like, hey, so blah da 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 da, and then you just pick right up. Okay, that is exactly what it was like when I met her for the first time. It's exactly what it felt like. I'm not kidding. I've never had that experience with anybody before in my life. I am not kidding. I've had the experience of, I think I've met you somewhere before, or I think I've seen your face somewhere before, but I have never met someone who was a perfect, complete, total stranger to me for the first time, have them sit across from a table in front of me, looking into their eyes and acting as if I've known them my entire life, because I had known them in I don't know how many fucking past lives. If you don't experience that with the person that you're claiming is your twin flame, I'm going to say it again. Sorry to tell you, you're not a twin flame. if you are lying to yourself and telling yourself some story because you heard it somewhere, somebody told you, like myself, that that's what they experienced, and you're, oh, well, yeah, I experienced that when you didn't. Stop lying to yourself because you're not a twin flame. I don't know any other way to express this or to tell people or to get people or individuals or whoever is watching these videos. You are literally dating yourself. You are the vibrational match of energy in two separate vessels because you chose to come here with a specific purpose that's going to help the conscious of humanity on some level vibrate their little booties up to where we should have been because we fell. As I don't even want to get into it, it's a whole other thing. There's a book you can go find and read. It's The Council of Light. I highly suggest you give it a listen. You may or may not vibrate with everything, and when I say that, I mean resonate. You may not resonate with everything that this person is saying, but let me tell you, every time I've listened to it, I feel like somebody hit me with a ball-peen hammer, and I'm just going like a freaking energy being. Getting on tangent. Anywho, your twin flame and you are the same. So when you meet your twin flame in the physical for the first time, it is going to feel, whether you have realized it or not, whether you even are completely aware of it or not, it'll probably hit you the next day or as you're in conversation with this person. Holy fuck, I have met this person somewhere before, and you're going to rack your brain to try to think of where in your life on this earth at this lifetime you are here now, where the hell you met them, and you're going to realize, holy shit, it was some 18th freaking whatever past life we've experienced together. When I meditate, and I meditate specifically asking to connect with her, do you know how many images of faces flash through my mind's eye? A gazillion. I can't tell you the number of different faces from all walks of life, from all time periods that we have known humans or man or women or whomever to be walking two-leggeds, to be walking, and we've documented that as far back as we can. I have had flashes of those faces in my mind's eye. Male, female, all genders, whatever. That's how many times she and I have done this. I'm not saying this to be an arrogant ass. I really am not. I'm trying to say these things so that it'll cue you to hopefully go, yes, I resonate with you, Evan, and that will go, okay, am I just having a moment because I'm awakening, or am I really on a journey with this person because they are my twin flame, because they are my equal. They are my equal energetic imprint match. There's an energetic imprint each one of us has. They're finding out. I think I saw a video. It's weird. I'll watch it, but when I first get information, sometimes thrown at me, I won't watch it. I'll be very what's the word? I'll disregard it almost. I don't disregard it, but I'll act like I don't give a fuck because it's not something I don't already know. That's how I know I'm a knower and a seer, because I will get information, and instead of being like, oh my God, I didn't know it, I'll be like, no shit, Sherlock. That is how condescending I will be to people. And it's not because I'm being condescending to them. They're passing on information that we all should know. But that's how I know. I've done this fucking million times already, because I'm like, yeah, I already knew that. And I don't know how I know that because I don't understand physics or chemistry or anything. I wasn't good in chemistry. I passed with a C. Anywho, you get each other from the beginning. The minute you meet this person, it is like meeting your old friend, flame, lover, mentor, student, however you identify with this person, whatever label you want to construct with them, however you feel comfortable with these labels you're throwing around, you're going to fucking look in that person's eyes and you're going to know, I fucking know you from, I couldn't even tell you how many times over. That would explain her response when I went to her and said, babe, I don't think you understand. I know you from somewhere before. And she was like, yeah, no, I know. Yeah. That's probably why she did that. Because that woman was so freaking aware. I can't even tell you how intuitively powerful that woman was. She was super powerful. She told me a story where she did a banishing spell on somebody that was bugging the crap out of her. He creeped her. He was creeping her out. She laid down some boundaries, and she was a single mom, needed a place to stay. He gave her a place to stay. She thought she could trust him. Sooner or later, boundaries started getting crossed. He was acting creepy to her, so she left and did a banishing spell. And when she came back to the house she was staying in with him, it was like literally no one had ever lived there but her and her son. And she didn't hear or see a peep from that man for 13 years. And when she asked people that she knew that man, hey, have you seen blah, 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 they'd be like, I have no freaking clue where he is. It's almost like he just poofed right off the face of the earth. Okay. You just know. I can't explain how or why, but you just flipping know that you understand this person on a level that is indescribable. You can't find any human word to express or explain that connection, the click. That's why I wish I had fucking Legos right now so you could hear the auditory. Because that's what it felt like. That's how I experienced it with her. That's... I really don't know what else to say about it. I can't. There's no other words to put. Okay. So that's sign 6. The click. Now do you see why I didn't do a video with all 9 in a row? We'd been here literally for like 2 or 3 freaking days. It's almost 20 minutes of me talking about this feeling that I can't even really put into words, but I found some way to speak about it for almost 20 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so yeah, that is 6. A las 6. Number 6. The click. Okay? The click. You just know, fucking don't know why, how, where, what, but it's almost tied to the multiple lifetimes of that feeling of knowing them for eons. But it's more like a deeper understanding. It's not only like, I think the reason I mentioned like it's kind of like picking right up where you left off, like with that person or friend or whatever. I think the reason it feels that way is because you really do understand each other on a level that's really indescribable. I mean, there were things that she and I would talk about with each other that we realized we experienced the same exact things in life growing up, but we experienced them in a different way. It's kind of crappy to bring this up. This is the only thing I can think of at the top of my head because this was something I was just like, holy crap, that's so crazy to me. Both of us experienced sexual trauma growing up from a family member. However, the family members were different. Hers was a person in her family and mine was a person in my family that was not the person that she experienced it with. But we both experienced that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just, I don't know. There were a lot of things like that. There were a lot of parallels like that. And so I don't know if that also contributes to you getting this feeling of like you just get and understand this person. You get and understand their perspectives, their thoughts, even if you personally don't vibe completely with their perspective or the way they may see or do something. It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't get under your skin. It doesn't get on your nerves. There's nothing about that person that makes you go, oh, I wish I didn't do this shit or whatever. There was none of that. If there were, we never expressed it to each other. I'm not lying. There was this thing that I think if it had been anybody else, there were a couple things that had been anybody else that I was dating, I'd be like, man, I really wish they didn't do this fucking one thing. Whatever, I'll get over it eventually, I guess. I don't know. There's one thing that I probably would have been that way with. It had been anybody else. But I just laughed about it. I was just like, that's so, okay. If that's how you want to do it, that's fine. You know, you can get the same effect by doing this thing right here, right? And like, she just looked at me and I'm like, hey, you do it the way you want to do it, and that's fine. Whatever makes you happy, honey. Like, seriously. And I wasn't saying that to be condescending or being a dick or anything. I really just would laugh about it. I would see the humor in it. She would do the same crap with me. But it didn't, like, make us look at each other and go, that's that wonderful thing. That never happened. Because we got each other. Click. We just... I don't want to... I guess I have to say the cliche thing. It was like a puzzle piece. We just kind of fit together. Yeah, it's so fucking cliche. But yeah, I guess if those are the words to search for. I guess that would be it. I could be really fucking cliche and do the what is it, the Jerry Maguire thing. You know, you complete me, but that is not the dynamic of a twin flame journey. And actually, that should never be the dynamic of any fucking relationship you have, especially if it's a romantic one. The person you're with should never, ever make you feel like you're whole or like you're my other half. Fuck that shit. You gotta be all whole in yourself first. That's the main thing. People fucking forget that shit. You can't be happy with who you are when you look in the mirror every day, like literally accept yourself for who you are, even if you have bad habits and you're trying to correct those, or maybe you're not. You don't beat yourself up for doing the things that you do. Maybe you like to eat, here's a thing I never understood. I used to smoke cigarettes. My sister used to smoke cigarettes. She would have a cigarette before she'd go to bed. I'd be like, oh my God, how the fuck can you do that? I would have a cigarette when I would wake up in the morning. She'd be like, oh my God, how the fuck can you do that? So, you know what I'm saying? To each his own. Were they the greatest thing to be doing for either of us? No, we're smoking a cigarette. But yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Like, don't matter. Don't really matter. I don't even know if I'm making sense to myself anymore. Anywho, I'm getting off of the video now. This is the video for number 6, the click. You just get each other. And if you don't vibe with what I'm saying about that, I'm sorry. You must not be a twin flame. You could be with a poo-poo head that you're calling your twin flame. Or maybe it is your twin flame and you don't want to do your work. I don't know. The world is weird. All I know is that you just freaking understand each other. There's nothing you can explain to verbalize the feeling you're having, really. You just know you get each other because you haven't been with this person before many umpteen times. I mean, everything I'm saying with these signs literally do kind of tie into each other. So it may seem like I'm being repetitive. And maybe I am. I don't really know. However, I do know that I did experience all of this stuff that I wrote down separately unto itself, but also with her and at the same time. And you know what I mean? Anywho, okay. I'm going to stop talking now and let you happy people go back to this, whatever it is you were doing before you watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and tomorrow kicks butt for you as well. See you later in the next video.